Don, what did you do? The Mean Green Machine is like all the parts. Parts and pieces everywhere.
Parts like Christmas time.
Yeah, it's like Christmas time. Hanging them up on the tree. More parts here. I had to just put a little bit of the paint on the table here just to see. So here's the color we're going. Kind of hard to see the metallic in it, but it's got some high metallic. It's going to be a pretty cool color. It's the Mean Green Machine. Getting ready to get, since all the parts take up so much space, we're going to go ahead and paint the parts first. And then clean up the chassis, paint the frame next, and time to assemble. So are you getting ready to put the green to it?
Green or brown?
A little water on the floor. Put some epoxy, self-etching epoxy primer. And the Green Mean Machine will be green. Next time you see it, it will be green. We've already got all the parts finished. A nice green. This is a lime high metallic. Alright, so you can use a gasket or you can just use RTV, which is our preferred method. If you get it around the bolt real good, that'll really eliminate any place for it to start dripping. Just line it up, put it the right direction, drop it in. I don't think you have a choice though. I think it only goes one way.
Hold up on that side of it if it needs it.
Alright, so on the 9-inch, putting the axles in, the way it comes, you got to press the bearings on. Go down, getting the bearings pushed on. Put a piece of wood in there so we don't smash Curry's name. Curry wouldn't be happy. So it gets Curry axles. That definitely makes life easier. So the axles we use are universal. You can have the Ford bolt pattern, 4 3/4 or 4.5. You can have a Chevy bolt pattern, 4 3/4, 5 on 4 3/4. Okay, so we caught Don playing horseshoes. You playing horseshoes here? Yeah.
Line hole up.
Line hole up. So figure it out. This is called figure it out, huh? So we're putting the disc brakes on the back of the 9-inch here. Got the axles pushed in. Everything. Got the collar on. I don't know if a video is going to help somebody on this one. Get it going. You want the brakes aiming to the back.
Right. So. I've already had it to the front.
Okay, well, so you figured out that wasn't right.
Yeah.
So there'll be a, and this isn't a left and a right. This would be a flip it over situation. So. Looks like it's how it goes. Kinda.
I don't think it is though.
No, it needs to go back. We'll come back after you get this a little more figured out. All right, should we ask them? Yeah, everybody that watches YouTube has an opinion. I hear a lot of them. So, Don wants to know, we got enough shims in there. It looks like it, when you tighten that up, that's gonna work.
Yeah.
And then it's leaning back. That leans back pretty far, but that's how it goes, isn't it?
I just got these stuck in there holding it.
Yeah.
Get my...
All right, well, I like it.
I know more about it now than I did.
I've done it more than a couple times, but every time I go to sleep, I wake up and it's a brand new day. I got to remember it all again.
I had it over here first.
Yeah, that's not right. So. All right, so we'll get the other side on, and the Mean Green Machine coming together, the Model A chassis. Chassis for going to go under a sedan. All right, so what's the old saying? If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Everybody be doing it.
So we got our rear end, 9-inch. Everything's new, but of course the axle don't fit. It's a little bit long, which it is what it is. So we're gonna have to cut a little bit off. It just gets aggravating when parts don't fit. But it's just something to do. You need something to do, so now you got something to do. We are actually thinking about having axles made and doing it all, getting it in-house. Right now, problem is we've got to go to too many vendors to get the same thing, and supply chain is messed up.
Good morning.
Good morning. So it looks like Don's got the axle shortened up just a little bit, don't we?
We are batting 100 right now.
Brakes are on.
Sure.
We ready to put her up under the car.
Ready to bleed the brakes.
Bleed the brakes. Maybe we ought to plumb it first.
Yeah, that might help.
So step one would be lay out all the parts. Make sure they're all in mass, all there, ready to go. Take the inventory, and then get yourself a game plan. So we got most of the axle parts here. A lot of rods and all that are still ready to go. So we'll just take it one bite at a time and start assembling the axle here. I'm going to start with, we're going to call them the bat wings here. Now these face to the inside of the axle here. I've got the shackle. I want to put the shackle with the nut side to the back of the car, so I'm going to add them in right here, and then this side will go into the spring up here. So I'll go ahead and get them put in first. I started by putting all the bushings in, both sides. Put the bushings in the spring. And I go ahead and just push the shackle in. There is a left and a right bracket. You can tell from the way they're angled. So we want it angled like this when it's on the axle, because the 4 bars are going to angle towards the frame. And we set them all the way out to the end here. So this is a spring over, so the axle is going to be sitting directly over the spring's going to be sitting directly over the axle. So we'll go ahead and set those parts in and put the bat wings on it. So we definitely have lots of rods that we need to put bushings in. They're for the 4 links, they're panhards, they're steering rods, all kinds of stuff. So match everything up and put it together. I don't see any instructions for it, or I'd show you. Super Bell makes some pretty nice instructions, but they must have figured we don't need instructions around here, so they probably got thrown away when we were painting it. All right, so we got all our rods, 4 bars for the front, panhard for the front, panhard for the rear, our steering arm, and our drag link, and this is our 4 link for the rear. So we got everything together, and now we're ready to just start assembling. So once you get the bracket on, in place, put the lower shock bracket in. These have both got beveled edges on both sides. It did take a little bit of persuasion to get it down in there. Carefully, you don't chip your paint, just stay on the thing. I actually used a tube to kind of push it down a little bit. And we'll get this lined up, tighten down, and move on. So we need to push the bearing adapters on. So it's kind of handy to have a press to do that. You can see the bearing adapter needs to go down to the bottom. So we have this spindle assembled. Just some bolts in the top for the brake kit or the brake bracket. The lower arm on this one, since it gets cross steer, is going to have 2 holes on the right side. Then over here on the left side, you'll just have 1 hole for lower steering arm. The top just bolts on for the bracket. So spindles are ready to go. Looks like Don is about
Run out of parts.
well, looks like Don is about run out of bushings to put in. So are we about to assemble?
We're closer than we've ever been.
Closer than we ever been. Okay, there you go. Next step is to get the axle up there. Instead of U-bolts, we weld this bracket on, so it's just got a piece that holds the spring up underneath. The center of the spring where the screw is, that's what holds all the springs together. Just bolt it on. Now we can go ahead and put the 4 link together. Not everybody's got a porta power, and Daryl must not have had a porta power.
Daryl doesn't want to go.
Oh,
chase
look
the
at
poor
this.
boy
We
down.
got, so this is why we're in the state of affair we're in this country. Because all us old guys are just about gone. And the young guys, who knows this trick? I didn't know this trick. I've been doing, look at that. Look at that. Wow. Hey, I could use the,
The bottom one too.
all
The
of
bottom
them are a
one,
little
too.
bit tight.
And over there too.
Wow, Daryl, you're the man.
Well, when you don't have tools, you
When
make
you don't have tools, exactly. If you look in my toolbox, which is open to everybody for years, my homemade tools are a lot of them missing. But yeah, sometimes you just make your own tools. You do what you got to do. So,
I like
hey,
it.
while you're here, get them all. So I'm glad you came over. That's a good tip. So now we got, how are we going to title this one?
Actually,
Daryl's
is,
Daryl's tip of the day.
Well,
that
we can do
doesn't
that.
that doesn't rhyme.
no.
Doesn't work. Well, cool. There you go. So when you don't have the porta power, and you're not an old body man from years ago, just grab a couple wrenches. Doesn't, may scratch a little bit on the inside, but you're going to put the piece there. It's not going to matter. Actually, been quite a few years since I've assembled a front end on a I-beam axle, but one of the things you might want to remember, once you get it in over, put on the backside first, I put it in, then I swung it over. It's not got a left-hand and right-hand thread like your panhard rods and that would have, where you just twist the rod and it's going to either both go out or both go in. So you need to adjust this to make sure it goes into the bracket, because this is not adjustable on this side. So just be aware of that. So you would want to start putting them in here. Washers in the back. We're good in the front. You got the collar there. All right, I went ahead and put on all 4 bars for the 4-bar setup. At this point, I really don't tighten anything down unless I can't get at it again. I just want to get it all set up there, and then I'll just methodically go through the whole thing and make sure it's all tight. But I mean, everybody does it a little bit different. That just happens the way that I do it. And we'll move on to the shocks next. We've installed the front shocks with the right bolts and everything. Our next step is installing the kingpins, and you can see the notch in the kingpin here, right here. That's going to have to line up with that hole as it comes down. There's a keeper that actually goes in, you can kind of see, and that presses in. And right now I can't push it anymore because I've got the kingpin in there, but when it gets to this notch, that's what holds it in on this I-beam axle here. We'll go ahead and install the spindles next. So as I put it together, there's a bearing, and the bearing goes on the bottom. You can see I've got it placed in there, holds the gap. So I'm ready to put the kingpin down in there now. I got my 4 bars on, I got my spindles on. I got the keeper drove into the hole, and it gets a little nut on the back side of it. When you put your kingpin down, potentially you might need a washer, and they're real thin. So this one on this side happened to need one. I have very rarely needed them. They're already tight, they're not wore out, they're brand new. I've got my shock sitting on there. So now it's time to put a panhard rod on to go up underneath. The bracket attaches to where the 4-link is going to be, and then the other bracket is welded on the frame already. And then put the drag link on. We've installed the panhard rod. Now it's only adjustable on one end, so it's solid on the frame side, but the axle side is adjustable. So make sure you're kind of lined up where you want to be and get it in there. Our pile of rods is going down, so next we're going to put the drag link on. Now your drag link, we use ball joints on the big cars, on the 32 Model A and the 34 frames, instead of rod ends on the end. So this is a left hand and a right hand thread. So keep the thread length about the same, so when you twist it, they both go in at the same time and both go out at the same time. So once you get the drag link on, you can see I've got quite a bit of adjustment. Make sure you got jam nuts on everything, of course. So when I turn it, I'm going to go either in or out on both sides. So if I turn it this direction, they're both going out, which will make it toe in more. If I go this direction, they'll both go in, which will make it toe out more. So we'll worry about our alignment after we get everything together. Alright, so we're kind of doing the manhandle for putting the brakes or the shocks on the rear end.
That middle hole,
One middle hole right there.
go down a little bit more.
Alright,
Okay.
put one in, bolt. Down a little bit.
Check my pinion angle.
Two in. So once you put the shocks on, we went and put a little bit closer to the ground and put the panhard rod on to stabilize that rear end. Otherwise that frame will just flop over on you. You can kind of see there's two brackets. One bolts to the front of the rear end of the differential and one bolts to the housing. Put the panhard through there and use a spacer. Your only adjustment is on this end over here. So you want to try to get that right the first time, but you can't adjust it like the front panhard. Just twist one way and they both go in, and twist the other and they both go out. So now it's time to hook up the 4-bar. Installing the 4-bar in the rear is pretty straightforward. You're going to want to make sure your pinion angle's at 3 degrees. Set everything pretty equal. You got a rod that's welded on this side over here though, so you can't adjust that. You only adjust on the forward side. As best as possible, try not to bind or just wedge things in. Get it lined up, put it together. Just a little bit of advice, if it's possible to have a buddy help you out. It's kind of after hours here, everybody's left, and so I was kind of on my own, but kind of moving and wedging and getting that rear end into place to put these bars in. It was a little bit of a pain. Doesn't hurt once you get it up there to stick a screwdriver or a drift punch in there to kind of line up the holes, put them in. I went and put the bolts from the inside, pushing it out because there's just not enough room to really tap them in, and they do need to, I'm not talking about beating them in, but tap them in to get them through. Got lock nuts on everything. So the rear end is just about together. I don't have anything tight, but I will systematically go through everything here and tighten it up. Now I need to go ahead and finish up the front end. I need to get my rotors on. So we put the front rotors on. I just put the calipers on without the brakes in it. Nothing is tightened up yet, but pretty much what you see is a Model A rolling chassis. Spirit cars. We built the frame here. We used Pete and Jake's on some of the suspension part as a Super Bell front axle. The back, what you see here is off a 32. We made that, but you can put a 32 gas tank on it. A sedan is going to go on this chassis, a Model A sedan. But disc brakes on the rear end, 9-inch rear end, 4-bar in the front and the rear. Everything new. So it wasn't that complicated. I've built a couple over the years, but I probably haven't put one together for maybe 3 or 4 years. And of course, we didn't have the instructions. When they painted it, they figured we don't need the instructions, so that got thrown away for the front and the back and everything. But we've put plenty of them together. Super Bell, I believe, does have pretty good instructions, or at least a breakout of the parts for the front. And the same for the back. I'm not sure. We make a lot of the back parts here. So I know our instructions are, well, right here. We have a video. So it's the Mean Green Machine.